TV.
Like ruin her sensitivity with like some of these like ultra powered 10,000 vibrator shit like that. If you just like if you at home and you got a 3-day weekend, you just going at it, boom boom, like can you like throw your sensitivity off if you're doing it like nonstop?
Mine would be thong. Okay. Here's what happens. Let me tell you. Okay.
It's like, what did you expect? This is the royal family. Like they, you know what I'm saying? They've been in power.
Yeah, they make no mistakes.
You know, centuries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
They
literally.
literally.
So it's like, okay, you come in here, you having a baby with the prince. It's like, of course they're going to be like, what if he doesn't look like us? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for the come on TV,
hilarious.
come on TV and just be like, oh, they're racist. It's like, okay, like you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I don't see, like, I feel like there's a like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, what are they going to be reprimanded for this now? Like, what's somebody going to do? Like, you know,
does how much does diet play a part in orgasms? And then stay with me on this second part question.
Health, like overall health.
Yeah, overall health. And then like with your diet and the tasting of orgasms, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You know the pineapple juice theory and all that good stuff. So did y'all see in China they
anal swabs?
No.
Niggas got anal swabs for the COVID.
I did see that though.
I did see that, but I wasn't going to talk about that.
Well, ain't nobody
Oh
going
my
to China.
goodness!
I was talking about China.
If you go to China, you gay, bro. If you go to China, you gay.
It's mandatory. It's mandatory. You try to
What's the point of it being anal? Like, why does it have to be anal to be mandatory too? That's so crazy.
No one's been touching your prostate, but we'll talk about it.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's mine.
Yeah, we can skip that one. Mine ain't touched.
Lips that touch swine would never touch mine.
Okay. So you guys can eat groceries, but we can't.
Oh, no, you can eat groceries. I just don't sell that at this store.
Okay. I got it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Flight Room Podcast, episode number 47. I'm your host today, Lighthouse. I'm with my bros, Remy Please, Concourse P, Sayal, and my actual blood brother, our special guest today, my brother Antoine, the credit plug. Right now, actually today was a big day for a lot of people. Them stimulus checks that got sent out. And I know a lot of people were thinking, what they want to do with that. And I think you'd be the perfect person to, give people some advice what to do with their stimulus check. So before we get into the whole credit thing, I think that'd be a good topic to start with. So, Antoine, what do you think? What people should do with their stimulus checks? What's a good way to go about it?
Hold up, Marcus. Sorry, I don't mean to jump in real quick, but Antoine, tell us a little bit about yourself and the credit plug, for the people who don't know.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Marcus knows too much sometimes.
Yeah. So I have a YouTube channel where I teach financial literacy. Started probably back at the end of 2019, like the fall of 2019, around September, and just putting out videos and really, kind of where it started with credit. I started to, go through life, major life events, whether that's trying to rent an apartment or finance a vehicle. And I realized that I was encountering a lot of roadblocks, during that whole sequence. So I went through this phase where, I was just I would drive out to different banks, sit down, talk with them, get an understanding of what their underwriting process was like. So instead of just applying to different places and not kind of knowing what to expect, I wanted to really gather as much data and information to make an informed decision. So I went through this process, and I would say, for right now, for the better part of, 6-7 years, really just gathering firsthand information. So one day, this was back in the beginning of 2019, I sat back and I was like, wow, I remember where I was at, one point where, I was, knee deep in student loans, collections, all that, stuff on my credit, to the point where I was then, where I was able to just go about, collecting information and actually implementing that information with myself. So I decided that I was going to bottle up all that information and share it with other people, because I felt like if I'm able to kind of, go through trial and error, make mistakes, learn from it, then if I'm teaching that to somebody else, or sharing that information with somebody else, then it's going to reduce the learning curve for them and put them in a whole different situation, whether, they're trying to get funding for a business, whether they're trying to purchase a home, or, whatever you would use credit for. So I decided to just start putting out information. Our channel has grown, and yeah, I mean, that's really how it kind of started out, but it's kind of morphed into something else where, it's a community now. And I've noticed too, just with building and putting out information, delivering value on social media, it's definitely came back, 100-fold. And so now, yeah, I mean, it's a full-blown brand, and, we're growing each and every day. And, one thing I will say about, just a short journey, because like I said, I mean, my brother could tell you, like, when I had the idea, we were talking about it, I purchased a camera and, some other things. And it's just so crazy, the day and age we live in right now, the information age, how, you could leverage social media to grow your platform and to really create an audience. And like I said, it's more from me just putting out videos. I mean, I started off recording on an iPhone 6, which I still have right here. And it now has gotten to the point where, financial institutions started to notice, right? And, reaching out. So now, we have a ton of different affiliate partnerships and brand ambassadorships and things like that. And we're now really able to kind of drive like a lot of traffic. For example, like there's been examples where we might do a review and that the website gets a ton of traffic, crashes the website. So it's like it's really morphed into something bigger than me. A movement, a community. A lot of people are able to take the information, the free information, and apply it to their own situation, and be able to get results and change their lives, and also share that information with their family and their friends. Just things they may have never known were possible when it comes to credit. And kind of what we focus on, what I focus on, is gathering data points. So like understanding, like with certain financial institutions, right? What credit scoring model do they use? What's their business model, right? What types of customers are they trying to attract? Because that's one thing, the average consumer may not understand. There's different levels. There's a hierarchy within the financial and banking system. So you might not know. You might see, commercials growing up, Capital One, Bank of America, XYZ, all the major banks. But you may not know that those banks have specific business models in terms of who they're targeting, the types of customers that they're trying to attract. So what I've actually been able to do is identify not just big banks, but credit unions, community development financial institutions, minority depository institutions, and even more recently, a lot of fintechs. So fintechs are really changing the game right now, because they're using methodologies and technologies that are more attractive to a younger demographic, and the younger generations like millennials and even Gen Z. So part of what I try to do is extract that information, research. I speak with different, fintech CEOs, underwriters, bankers, and just try to extract information so that, before you walk into a particular financial institution, let's say if you want to get a loan for a car or, purchase a home, you understand, okay, they're going to use my middle mortgage score, or they're going to use, FICO 8, FICO 5, whatever it might be. Or this institution might focus more on debt to income. This institution might focus on prime credit, or this other institution might have products that are more for, fair subprime credit. So it's really just kind of informing people so that they can make the best decisions and not waste time when they're going about on their credit journey. We talk about different strategies to, build up, their credit profile, best practices and things like that. So we just try to inform the people with as much information as possible so that they can make the best decisions. So that's really kind of what I want to focus on. One thing I realized with growth, you can't do everything, right? So when I first started out, I was because the thing with social media, right? When you don't have that big of a following, people don't really believe in the things that you're saying until they start to see other people like you know what I'm saying. So at first what I was what I was doing at first,
because you pretty much started from nowhere, like, you know what I'm saying, and you search your information and going out there. Now you've been able to build this level of a platform where you can say the same thing to me, but now you have such a platform that you'll be attracting people from all around. Like, your credibility is higher now. You know what I'm saying? It's different from you just talking to your family. You know what I'm saying? So that's important.
Right. So starting out, trying to make a name for myself, because remember, I even worked a lot in financial institutions. Like, I worked for a nonprofit financial institution. One of my first internships while I was in college, and I was working with the portfolio managers and the underwriters and stuff like that. So I had a little bit of information, but back then I didn't see the big picture. For me, it was just a job. You know what I'm saying? Until later on in life, I was like, okay, so that's how deals are put together and things like that. So I had information before starting the platform, but of course, like I was saying, people don't believe in you unless they see that you have a support behind you. So what I started first off on Instagram. So I was on Instagram. For whatever reason, they just kept deleting my accounts. So I was like, man, forget this. Let me just start on YouTube. And I was able to build up more on there. And now I realized too, just even in this digital age we're living in, just different ways of monetizing, right? It's a whole different, what this whole journey is kind of opened my eyes to is that we're in a different age, right? It's not the industrial age, right? We're in the information age where, all you really need is technology and an idea, and you could, just jump off with that. And so that's really kind of opened my eyes to just kind of the way of thinking coming up, right? Go to school, go to college, graduate, get a job, work, whatever. Just this whole journey has kind of opened my eyes up to the possibilities that are out here, because, technology, social media has definitely, I would say, lowered the barriers of entry that would have been present even, let's say, 15, 20 years ago. Like back in the day, if you wanted a website, you had to hire a team, or if let's say you wanted to
do a podcast.
Do a podcast or build an app or something like that. Like it's even opened my eyes. Like you have people, right? Like I had a VA working overseas, right, and doing web development, stuff like that, and they're doing high quality work for a fifth of what it would cost here. So it's just like there's so many systems in place right now for everyone to succeed. And so I think now is a great opportunity, for this generation and the younger generations, especially, I would say, because they've been brought up completely in this digital age.
All they know.
For them to really progress and get ahead. And I'm really excited about the future, when it comes to all of this. And I would say when it comes to the credit and financial information, it's been around, but it really hasn't been proliferated, right? Because now you have platforms like YouTube where people can just hop on and give you their firsthand experience or data points. And so now information is readily available. So it's able to really liberate people and bring people up. If you're willing to take that information and apply it. So that's really what my mission is with the channel. Just really helping people and providing as much information, insights, and then some of the conversations and perspectives that I'm able to have with, let's say, if I'm talking to a fintech CEO who's building a new platform where they're going to be able to provide business loans to minorities, or they have a new app that's going to help people build credit or manage their finances or do their taxes, or things like that. It's a very interesting perspective, and I'm glad that I'm able to kind of share it. I would say a lot of people who follow our channel identify with us, right? African Americans. So I think it's really helping a lot of people, especially in our community, just come up. So
I like that.
Hey, so what do you think is like the biggest like misconception? Because like with some people, like credit is kind of like the boogeyman. Like, oh, I don't want credit cards, or what I'm saying, I don't want collections people calling me and stuff like that. So what do you like at the most, like credit 101 type thing?
Yeah.
And I also, hold on, I wanted to add too, people do have that misconception, like you pay your bills on time and your credit gets higher. So if you can clear that up for some of them too.
Sure. So I think that misconception though is something that was passed down, like don't get into credit, credit's evil. But it's really, and there's a guy, you guys probably heard of him, Dave Ramsey, right? He's anti-debt, doesn't believe in credit cards, things like that. I think when people have that idea, a couple things, right? One is looking at credit in terms of overconsumption, consumerism, right? Because let's be honest, the average person, if they get, let's say, a credit card, the credit card companies are smart, right? They know people, like we live in a very consumerism, materialistic society, right? And that's one thing I struggle with my subscribers, because I know, I'm giving them information on how to obtain it, but not everyone's going to use it in a responsible manner, right? And I'm always saying, obviously don't be over leveraged, don't use more than what you can't repay. Right. So I think people are right when they're saying, don't get credit and things like that, when they're talking about the average person. But credit, for someone who's responsible, someone who has self-control, someone who, isn't going to just overconsume and get in over their head, then it's not a problem, right? If you're already responsible, if you're already, managing your finances and things like that, then I think it's okay. Just to have in your back pocket, right? And the same with me. Like, I have enough credit that I'll never ever use all of it. You know what I'm saying? But it's good to have just on the sidelines, because one thing I will say is I've been in situations where opportunity presented itself, where I would need, access to, thousands of dollars to seize an opportunity, but I wasn't able to because I just didn't have the funds to do it. Yeah. So my whole philosophy is I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And so I've even just seen, just with having access to credit, it can make things much more efficient, right? And I can speak from personal experience, because I used to ride the bus. I used to have a job where I worked night shifts Sunday. So I went to school. I went to University of Maryland. So I was in College Park, and I would go all the way to Rockville Sunday, you know, single tracking. So it was a 3-hour commute one way, and then in the morning it was probably like another 2.5 hours. So I remember just like sometimes even walking in the snow, and then I'm thinking like, man, this whole time if I had a whip, if I could just go have a whip, I could just go from A to B, and it would just make my life so much simpler. Or even just having to like I couldn't even rent a room, I couldn't even rent an apartment. I had to go on Craigslist and like, you know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't go through a normal management company. Exactly. So it like I realized that like having access to it makes things much more efficient. But to go back to your question, I think, you know, that assumption about, you know, credit being a bad thing is really for people who don't have the self-control, and that's going to be probably more people than not, unfortunately.
That's what everything.
But if you're someone who's already if you have self-control,
compulsive people.
I don't think it's a problem. But just the way things are, and I'll admit, when I was younger, I was more, I would say, materialistic. But you know, now in my 30s, it's like the same things just don't like. I never get to the point where it got out of control. And then the second thing about that, I think another reason why some people have that, and I would say in the African American community, it's generally with older generations, because, you know, I would say our grandparents, things like that, in their time, credit was much more discriminatory, right? Because you had redlining, you know, banks wouldn't lend to you know, to certain areas and stuff like that. So I think they were kind of scarred from that and just had a natural mistrust of credit. So you know, with that regard, and then Concourse Peter, to get to your question about people just, you know, paying their bills on time, expecting their credit. So paying your bills on time. So payment history is the largest component of your credit score, but there's other factors as well that go into. So aside from payment history, you have the average age of account, so how long you've had credit, and there's different components to maximize that. So on-time payment percentage, you want to be at 100%, because even let's say 98% on-time payment. Let's say you have 100 payments on your credit report. If you miss one payment, you drop from 100 to 99. And so even 99% on-time payments is not good. 98% is considered bad payment history. So the margin of error is very small when it comes to payment percentage. And then you also have the number of accounts, right? So if you have less than 5 accounts on your credit report, that's considered a thin profile. And now to maximize the categories in credit, right? There's different thresholds. So you have less than 5 accounts, you have less than 10 accounts, and then you have you know, over 21 accounts. So if you have over 21 accounts, that's basically demonstrating that you know, you've been able to manage credit responsibly. So there's different components, and then in addition to that, there's different credit scoring models, right? Most people probably use Credit Karma to check their credit score, right? But Credit Karma uses what's called Vantage scores, and Vantage scores aren't even used by most lenders. Most lenders use FICO scores. Now with FICO, you have different versions. So like I was saying earlier, when I'm analyzing or gathering data points from financial institutions, they might use different versions of FICO, but you might not know that beforehand. So you have FICO 8, which is the most widely used, but then you also have FICO scores. You have your bank card scores. So if you're applying for credit cards, you have your auto scores. If you're, you know, applying for auto loan, then you have your mortgage scores, and now they have FICO 10. So there's a lot of different versions, and they're slightly different because they weight certain credit information differently. So on the FICO, you have close to 30 or so different FICO scores. So that's one thing. That's one thing. A lot of people, you know, might use, you know, these major, you know, Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, but those aren't actually giving you your FICO scores. So to answer your question, yeah, paying your bills on time is good, but then there's also other components as well, because let's say for example, you have one credit card, right, and you've just been paying that for years and years and years. and you might have a $500,000 limit, but then let's say you want a loan, like you want to apply for a loan and you need $20,000, right? So you also have what's called credit mix. That's the diversity of different accounts, revolving accounts. You have installment accounts, and so having a good mix of accounts, because it's showing that you can manage different types of credit accounts. So I would say credit is more kind of like it's like an art and a science, because there's a delicate balance that you have to maintain. But to answer your question, there's different factors that go in. Paying your bills on time is obviously the most important, but the thing with credit is really about the data and the information, and kind of demonstrating that, hey, you know how to handle debt. That's really what it's about. So like let's say if you don't have that many accounts, then that might not show that you can manage different types of debt, like depending on what you're trying to apply for. So you might even see, for example, like you could have, and here's another thing too. I want to talk about credit scores, because a lot of people focus only on credit scores, and what I've seen was that there's other data points that go into like a lending decision besides just credit scores. Because what's really big now is a lot of people doing what's called authorized users, right? It's basically when you piggyback off of somebody else's credit. So the thing about authorized users, like for example, you might get added to an authorized user. You see your credit jump, 50. I've seen cases 120 points, and people think that, okay, now I'm ready. I'm prime time. I can go get my credit's A1. I could just go do whatever I want. But here's the thing, though. Authorized users, remember, it's not even your account. It's somebody else's account. So what I've realized is, and I've spoken to underwriters, when they see that, because when they're looking at that, they see that, okay, that's not really your account. So it really doesn't convey, even though it's manipulating the different components of your credit score, the amount of available credit, the on-time payment percentage, the age, it's manipulating all of those components, but it doesn't truly convey what your credit worthiness is. Because someone can have zero credit, add authorized users, and get to a 750, 800, close to an 800 credit score with just authorized users, but it's fluff at the end of the day, because it's kind of artificial. That's been a loophole for years. But what's happening now is the pandemic, and then there's a lot of fraud going on, because people are starting to catch on. You got people promoting it a lot. So what lenders are doing now, there's this fintech service company called Plaid. So Plaid basically enables like lenders to let's say you're applying for a loan, right? So like back in the day, if they're verifying income, they might ask you to send in some pay stubs or bank statements, whatever. But now they have an API where they can plug directly into your bank. So you literally sign in using your bank credentials, right? Your login and password. It pulls in the data, it analyzes it, so it sees, okay, this person said that they have they have an 800 credit score, but then they're only making $500 a month, or whatever it might be. So there's additional data points now that they're considering. So it's going to be a lot harder with some of these loopholes now, because what was happening was people using and I speak to lenders all the time, right? Fraud is at an all-time high right now, right? Because pandemic, people losing jobs, stuff like that. And so what was happening, right? So I told you how we would do reviews, and some of these credit union, like major credit union websites would crash. And I remember I got a call. We did a review on this credit union out in Michigan, and small credit union, not even so like it's not like they have
commercials.
Like they don't have like they don't have like a big like IT team on the back handling calls and stuff like that. It's like one or two people. So we dropped a video. So they had a credit builder loan, right? And it was no credit check, right? So one thing about our channel, right, that's really attractive, like when people see no credit check, it's just like people just jump on it. So we did a video we did a video on it, and they got so many. I think the video did. I dropped it on a Friday, right? So the video got about between Friday and Monday. The video got about 17,000 views, and so I got a call on Monday, right? And I spoke to the head of underwriting, the head of marketing, and they were like, can you please take down your video because we're getting swamped with so many applications that it's interfering with their regular course of business. And so I took the video down, and then they were also saying that they're dealing with a lot of fraud because people are doing it's called a CPN. It's basically synthetic identity fraud. Someone might take someone's social security number, maybe a child, or let's say like someone who's locked up, or even dead people, right? Or just a flat out stolen social security
that Biden number. Shit.
Oh yeah, I haven't heard how these scammers get down. That's all you need. So and a credit card strip.
Exactly. So people, it's widespread, and so people, and for whatever reason, it's become so normalized. Like people don't realize that that's a federal offense. Like when you misrepresent who you are on a credit application, that's a federal offense. So it's so widespread. So like sometimes I feel like now, like we're almost close to 90,000 subscribers. So when I was doing these videos around, thanks. When I was doing these videos with 3,000-4,000, it didn't really matter because there wasn't as many people applying. But now I have to be mindful. Some information I can't even post because it could be used in an ill manner. You know what I'm saying? And I can't filter out who's taking the information, applying it, and so forth. So that's another reason why like financial institutions are switching up. And then even the financial institutions are now telling the credit bureaus, okay, we see a pattern with these synthetic identities and profiles, right? Because people are getting these trade lines, like a couple called My Jewelers Club. There's a handful of them, right?
I was going to ask you about those trade lines too later.
Yeah, so people are getting them easily, right? Because with those types of trade lines, they don't do a credit check. You just sign up, you pay your fee, whatever, and then it reports on your credit. So someone could easily just pay $100 and get a $5,000 or $10,000 credit line reporting on their credit. So it looks like they're a credit worthy person, but it's really like you know what I'm saying. So like the lenders are seeing like a discrepancy. Like, okay, we're seeing a lot of people who are getting these same types of accounts. So what the lenders were doing, they put pressure on the credit bureaus to stop reporting those types of accounts. So long story short, all of this fraud activity is forcing the lenders and stuff like that to evolve and change up their methodologies and do a little bit more vetting. Because now even the major banks, what they'll do now is like you can't pass like a synthetic identity or a synthetic credit profile to like an American Express or Bank of America, because they have all these different data sources on the back end that are verifying that. So they'll cross-reference the Social Security number with the Social Security Administration to see if that was actually issued to you. So they're basically switching up, given all these, macroeconomic type of things that are going on right now. So that's one of the big shifts I see just in the credit space. So I try to educate people on that, and really, I frown upon any type of fraudulent or shortcut. I think I think people are attracted to the scamming. It's become so normalized because people see it as a shortcut, like for whatever reason, the shortcut, the get rich quick, that's just appealing to people. Like, so like people don't want to go through the process of doing it organically. And I always stress, like, just build it organically. It's not going to happen overnight. You got to put in, to get to 800, just through organically building, that takes years, right? Because like I said, like to get the highest score with when it comes to your average age, you need an average age of at least 9 years. So it's like it's just not an overnight. Yeah, it's just not an overnight process. So that's just some of the things going on right now in the credit space, and I try to just steer people in the right direction. Right. Don't get caught up with the shortcuts, and
So like a shortcut. Is it a good idea to pay credit with credit?
So you mean like balance transfers and stuff like that, or like
pay off
credit card with a credit card?
Yeah.
I think if you know what you're doing, if you're leveraging, right? Because like I have clients, for example, they'll use, like, for example, they'll use a credit card. There's a company called Plastic, right? They you can basically liquidate your credit card. They charge like a 3% fee or whatever, but they'll cut you a check or whatever. I think I think if you're using it in the right way, like whether it's an investment, like I have clients who they might get a business credit card. So like with a business credit card, it's different than a personal, because a business it's under an EIN instead of your social. I mean, sometimes you still might have to personally guarantee it, but it may not report on your personal credit. So with that, if you're leveraging for that purpose, it's like I have clients who might use a credit card for their down payment on a real estate property, or vacation rental, Airbnb, something like that. So with that, I don't think it's such a bad idea. But generally speaking, I mean, if you're just kind of juggling it, juggling one to the other, I don't think, like, long term, I think I don't think it's good. But I mean, if you know what you're doing, and if you're really using it to leverage, they have credit accounts where you get 0% interest for 12, 14, even sometimes 20 months. So if you 20 months without paying any interest, you could really leverage that to come up ahead. So it all depends on how you're applying it. But yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to want to plan in place before you kind of just go out there. There's also lines of credit as well. The only time I think it's a good idea to do that, like I have a strategy called like data manufacturing. So that's one way to like get higher limits on your credit cards, is when, let's say, you have a credit card, you're using it, you're paying it off, you're using it, you're paying it off. If you do that multiple times within a billing cycle, what it looks like to the creditor is like, okay, this person's swiping and they're paying it off, paying it off. They need more credit, because at the end of the day, the banks, they make money from what's called interchange. So like when you go to the store, let's say you go to Whole Foods or wherever, right, and you use your credit card, you spend $100. Whole Foods, the company, they're not getting that whole $100. They're getting about $97. And then the credit card company, the bank, they're getting what's called an interchange fee. So the interchange, is usually like 2%, something like that. And then whoever the card network is, so the major card networks are Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, they charge what's called a network fee. So it's usually like 5 or 10 cents or something like that. So I learned that, when you're swiping a lot, institutions like that, because they want someone who is going to pay it. They're going to use it, but they're also going to pay it back. So when you can demonstrate that, that's one way of kind of manufacturing data, manufacturing spend. A lot of people also do that to like get these sign-up bonuses for credit cards, where you might get $500 after you spend $3,000 in the first 3 months, or people use it to get travel points, rewards and stuff like that, to redeem it for hotels and flights and stuff like that. So certain strategies like that, yeah, like if you know what you're doing. But if it's like you're going on shopping sprees and you're taking money off one credit card to pay it back, I mean, it all depends, because even nowadays too, things that used to be considered a liability, people are turning into assets. Like an example of that, let's say like a sports vehicle, right? Sports car. If someone's just driving it every day and not really using it, then that could be considered a liability. But nowadays, people are using credit to get these vehicles, and you might be able to put it on like Turo,
yeah.
Or even myself, I know if I just bought a sports car and start making YouTube videos, my views will go up and my ad rev will go up. So it all depends on how you're leveraging. I mean, you could turn liabilities to assets and leverage credit to do so. But I think it's really about just having a plan in place and how you're going to execute.
That was kind of my question too. Like, what would you're speaking to leverage? What would be the best advantage somebody could have? Say they're not going to use your program or any program. They're just going to go grassroots, try to build their credit up. What would you suggest they do in that process? You know, to actually build it and it be solid, like a solid foundation.
Okay, so I'm a little biased just because the route that I took. So when
even if you are biased, give us all the juice.
When I was building credit, right? Like you know, I had my 9-to-5 job, so I had income, I had money, but I didn't have I didn't have the good credit. So what I would do is I would use secured credit cards. So with a secured credit card, you basically put down a deposit. That deposit serves as collateral, and you get issued a credit line in that amount. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So with the secure credit card, so what I learned was that there's a handful of secure credit cards where after a certain time period, they'll release your deposit back to you. So you get your money back, but you get to keep the credit limit. And sometimes you'll get a credit limit increase. And you could either switch to a rewards card or something like that. So secure credit cards are good because the underwriting is not going to be as strenuous because if you don't pay it back, they just keep your deposit. So it's like the banks are already kind of
Navy Federal use your savings as
right
as a jump. Yep.
So yeah, I actually used Navy Federal was one of the ones I used. I put down like 500. After about a year, it unsecured. It went to 2,000. They gave me my money back. But then what you're doing with that is you're getting your foot in the door with lower requirements, and that's what some people don't understand because I think some people when they think about secure credit cards, they're thinking, oh, it's costing you, but no, you get your money back. So you're basically doubling your money. I did this with TD Bank, right? I got my tax return one year, about $5,000. I just put the whole thing into a savings account, got the secure card. After 8 months, like clockwork, it unsecured. I got my security deposit back and got to keep the credit limit. So I basically turned my $5,000 into a $5,000 credit card. Plus I got to keep my money. So I think the secure credit cards is probably the best route. Nowadays, they have a lot of fintechs. You have like Grain, you have Tomo credit card where they're not pulling your credit. So you can get a credit card, a bank issue credit card, right? So I think bank issue credit cards are good. You also, like I said, you also want diversity. So they also have what's called shared secured loans where it's an installment loan. Because again, you need revolving credit and installment credit, right? Because it helps your credit mix. So you can do the same thing, a secured loan, where it's basically like you put your money into a savings account, they lock it up, but then they issue you the money right back. So then you could literally use your own money to pay back the loan, and it's reporting on your credit. So it's showing payment history. So I think those are the best organic ways to do it, and it's very simple, right? It's not even that complicated, but then you have like these trade lines, right? My Jewelers Club, Hutton Chase, which actually got shut down. My Jewelers Club stopped reporting to TransUnion, and then like authorized users. But the way I look at those, and I'm not knocking them because people still use those. Like if you're going to add your kids to let them piggyback off your credit, there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, you still need accounts where you're the primary account holder, not a secondary, because a secondary is like it doesn't truly show your credit worthiness. It's someone else's data. But it's just a little technique. So I would say the secure cards, and then you could also look into the fintechs. I think those are probably like in 2021, like when I was building credit, 6-7 years ago, for me, it was the secure credit cards. I also did a couple of these like subprime credit cards with annual fees and high interest and stuff like that. I think there's more options now, but it all depends. Like there's definitely a cost to pay, or you got to pay to play sometimes. So it's like, yeah, you might have to go through that, pay $40-$50 for an annual fee just to get that account on your credit report and stuff like that. But yeah, to answer your question, I think the most organic way is just to secured bank issued accounts. because bank issued accounts hold more weight than like a store type of account,
like
right?
Walmart, Best Buy.
Well, I wouldn't say like Walmart or Best Buy, because Walmart is actually backed by like the Walmart credit card is
firm
through Capital One.
Oh, Capital One. Okay.
Capital One underwrites it. So like
Best Buy, Citibank, I think.
Yeah, Best Buy, Citibank. But I would say like, let's say like a like one that's not backed by a bank, but that's not backed by a major financial institution. I can't.
What about PayPal? What about PayPal?
So PayPal, I actually have the PayPal credit card. That's through Synchrony Bank. So Synchrony. So those are all legit. I wish I could give you a good example. Like they have like the the jewelry store types of accounts.
Oh yeah,
right?
like a credit. Yeah, open a credit card for like a jewelry store or something.
Yeah, like those aren't going to hold the same weight as a bank issued, because the underwriting's very loose. With jewelry store cards, they'll give anyone a high limit because they want you to spend the money. And they're overcharging you XYZ, and it's not the same underwriting that goes on. It's very loose, and lenders know that, right? It's not the same. And then the types of banks and financial institutions that you have on your credit report also matter, because as I was saying earlier, you have different business models. So like let's say Chase or American Express, so if you have one of those types of accounts, that means that you likely have a pretty good credit profile, versus if you have like one of these Credit One or First Premier, or
prepaid.
Like one of the bottom feeders is not going to hold the same weight, because they're like, all right, you got you got this $300 not to knock Credit One, because I have a Credit One credit card, but
that just shows you fucked up in college.
Yeah. So those things matter as well. But yeah, the bank issue from like a reputable bank or even a credit union, just bank issued, is going to hold a little bit more weight. So.
I like it. Yeah. I like that.
I got another question. Like I've heard, like if you have something like negative on your credit report, it could be as simple as calling these, collection or TransUnion or whoever the holder is. As easy as that to get it off your report.
So they have like goodwill letters, but to be honest with you, like if you still owe the it all depends. Like every situation is going to be different. But let's say if you owe, thousands of dollars, right?
I mean, like even if it's like a outstanding phone bill that you jump ship on, or it could be easy as calling them and saying, "Oh, this doesn't match my address." Like, is that a misconception?
So when you're disputing, right? So here's the thing. Here's the way that creditors are actually able to report negative items on your credit report, right? So there's and it's a combination of things, right? It's your name, your date of birth, and your address. So if those things, like let's say you have or in your example, let's say you had a phone bill, you didn't pay it, and on that account it has it has your name, it has your address, your date of birth, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're disputing, you have what's called a debt validation letter, where you basically are requesting that they prove that account belongs to you. So when you're disputing that, when you're disputing saying this account doesn't belong to me, there's a system called eOscar. So eOscar is like the dispute system where it allows people to it's basically how the creditors respond to credit disputes. And so if the name and the address on your credit report matches that of the account, the dispute's going to come back verified every single time. Now, what people don't understand is that, and I work with a credit repair company that does a lot of the outsourcing. What they do is, before they even dispute that, they dispute different name variations. So like if you have a middle initial, right? They'll get that removed. Or if you have old addresses on your credit report, they'll get those removed, because remember, you need those 3 identifiers. People think that all they need is your social, and that's not the case. They need, I mean, the social makes it more accurate, but creditors only need your name, your date of birth, and your address. So when you're disputing these accounts, if let's say two of those three factors don't match up, let's say, you know, for example, I'm gonna use my brother. Let's say on the phone bill, it says Marcus J. Allen, right? But then on the credit report, it says Marcus Allen. I mean, there could be 100 different Marcus Allens, which there probably are. So it's like, how do they know that?
Great running back,
right? So part of it is like, all right, making it so that there's enough factors that don't match. So if like the name doesn't exactly match, or if the addresses don't match. So like if the address that's on that phone bill is not on your credit report, you've manipulated enough factors that they can't really validate that debt belongs to you. So that's one of the strategies. I mean, there's a couple other strategies. I'm not going to get into all of them, but there's several different ways of disputing information to have it come off your credit report. And so it'll also vary from different bureaus. Like some bureaus are a little bit harder to get things removed from. And then it's not as easy as some people think, because I have a affiliate who I refer all of my subscribers to, Crown Credit Pro. The owner's been in the business for 20 years, and he was saying people think it's easy as just getting a template letter and shipping out a letter. And it's, I mean, because one thing you have to remember, all these template letters are online. The credit bureaus use machine learning and natural language processing. So like if you're using the same template over and over and over, right? They're gonna see a pattern of, you know, the sequence of words, you know, because what people will do is they'll take a template, they just fill in their information and send it off. And I get a lot of people it's like, oh man, I've been doing all these rounds of disputes, nothing's coming off. It's because you're using the template. They'll see that and you know, mark that dispute as frivolous. So that's one thing. Working with a reputable company is definitely important. But yeah, I mean, that process is a little tedious. I used to do it, but then I was like,
it's kind of worth the fight though.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. I mean, if you're doing it yourself, yeah, absolutely. It's definitely because naturally a late payment will be on your report for up to 7 years. A credit inquiry stays on your report for 25 months.
That's crazy, because that's like if you're a felon, that should last 7 years. Like,
yeah, but what some people don't realize though is that like some people might have messed up their credit 10 years ago and think that their credit is still messed up, whereas like all that information will have you know, fallen off, or it's so easy to dispute it because by law they can't report derogatory information for more than 7 years. So it'd be easy. Like you wouldn't even have to, it wouldn't even be a matter of proving the account is yours or you owe that or whatever. It's just like, this isn't this, you know, it's past the statutes of limitations. And then even in certain states, they have different rules. Like in Pennsylvania, right? The statute of limitations is 4 years. So like after 4 years, you could dispute, let's say a collection or something like that, and they have to take it off your report. So it all depends. But yeah, a lot of people don't know that. Like and you know, might be, you know, living, you know, decades thinking that their credit is messed up because they, you know, had some repos or whatever, you know, from 10, 15 years ago, but don't know that they're basically kind of at a reset.
Yeah. I even know some people whose student loans, they didn't pay their student loans at all after school, and then 7 years later it got completely wiped away. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen that.
So real?
So
but,
here,
I've seen that.
The thing with student loans, though, it depends, right? Private student loans and federal student loans are different. So federal student loans, even if they come off your report, the thing is, it's the federal government, so it never truly like even if it's not on your report, you would still owe that debt. But like with private student loans, it's different, right? It's not going to be on your report. And then there's a certain time window before a company has until they could actually try to sue you. So there's a limitation to that as well. So like there's a certain time period, like if they don't come after you, then it's kind of like, you know, time is up. They can't come after you after a certain point. So yeah. I mean,
so it's like sometimes like when you're facing like delinquency or a default or something like that, is it better to contact them up front, or should you just like wait that time period if you know you can come out on the opposite end on top?
I think it depends on how long it's been, because if it's like at the 6-year mark, I mean, you might as well just wait it out.
Right.
But if it's like, you know, a year and a half in, it's just like, all right, so this is going to hold you back for another 5 years. So I think it depends on different factors. How much you owe as well. If it's like $1,000, then you might want to try to. But if it's like, you know, I know some people who, you know, they owe the credit card company, you know, $30,000, then you know, that's a different situation. So I mean, I think it's all going to depend. I mean, one thing I always think about is opportunity costs, right? What you can be doing with a clean profile versus what you're not going to be able to do with that kind of, you know, hanging over your head.
All right. So we got a comment. She said student loans are killing her chance of home ownership. There are programs where you can, like, you know, it's like kind of like income based, and it really doesn't like affect your overall credit score. Because like I'm definitely on one right now, and after I joined the jump, like my jump shot up. Like this past year, I've been killing this credit score shit, so that's why I'm so interested in this jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's creative ways. Obviously, yeah, they're looking at your DTI. That's probably one of the biggest things, especially like nowadays. You know, if you're going to grad school, whatever. Like I've had clients who are.
We're gonna fix this.
That's one of our subscribers. Okay. You know, there's situations where you might be 100K in debt. That's going to raise your debt to income. So with like qualifying for a mortgage, okay, you got to be. I think like the standard is probably like 45% DTI or whatever. But there are creative ways of getting into a home. I'll talk briefly about this. This probably is going to be more for someone who, let's say they have, you know, they have a lot of student loans, so hopefully they have a job that's paying them a good amount, so they have some type of you know, decent income. So what you can do, if that's a factor, because it's probably more likely that you'll be able to come up with a down payment for a house versus being able to pay off your entire student loans. So for example, let's say if and here's an example, and I'm just throwing out a shameless plug. I have a bank partner, right? They do like lending, you know, for vacation rentals, Airbnb, like kind of turnkey properties, right? But this is for this is like private, you know, real estate investment. So on the private side, usually you have to put down a higher down payment, right? 20%. That's kind of the standard. So they'll do like 80% LTV, loan to value. So that means you're bringing 20,000 to the table. So what you can do is you can create a business entity, an LLC, purchase a house where you're putting down 20%, and then you can rent it out to yourself. You own that house under an LLC, but then when you're paying rent to your company. And then like part of that payment is going back to your lender. So that's one creative way around it. And the thing is, the lender that I work with, they don't do income verification. They don't check DTI or nothing. All you basically have to do is have a 680 minimum credit score and your 20% down payment. And, you know, but of course, like, you know, it all depends on the person's situation. Obviously with like a conventional, you can put down as low as 3%. So there's creative ways of you know, getting into a home. Even if you do have like a high DTI, there's creative ways to be able to do that. I mean, you could also, you know, leverage, you know, business credit cards, stuff like that. If you don't have the 20% and use that, and with the business credit cards, since they don't report on your personal credit, it's not affecting your DTI at all. So there's definitely ways around it.
So you dropped a credit score number.
What'd you say?
What would you say is like a optimal, not even optimal, what's like a solid credit score for like the regular Joe to aspire to? Something that's like, you know, some solid, some standard, not too outlandish, just something to like something to like, you know, kind of leapfrog you into a position?
Okay. Yeah, I would say, I mean, so this all depends too, because as I was saying, like everything, it's not all credit score based because there's other, it's the depth of your credit profile. So it's a little bit more than that. I'll say this, right? So when I was building my credit, I think, I don't know, this is probably maybe 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. I think my credit was in like the low 600s. And at that point, it was really that's when I was on the secure credit thing and everything like that. But what I realized too, because I still had some derogatory things on my credit profile. So I would say getting derogatories off is going to be the most important thing, irregardless of credit score, because you can have a 700 credit score and still have a collection on your credit profile. I mean, you could have a 720 and have a collection, but you could also have a 660 with no collections, but just a thin profile. Because what some lenders will look at is like if they see any, because what you have, like if you have any type of derogatory, you have what's called a delinquency indicator. Now, the delinquency indicator, it's just like a yes, no, right? You have derogatories or you don't. And that if you do, that automatically puts you in high risk. So I would say clear of derogatories is going to be good. Is going to kind of position you, because from there you can build up, higher and higher. But I would say for most things to unlock, let's say you want to, get low interest rates, you want to be able to purchase a home. And like I said, I hate using specific numbers because it's overgeneralizing, because some people might think, oh, I got a 680, I'm good to go. And that's not always the case, because it's not always this linear relationship. Like the higher credit score you have, the better it is. Because remember, I had a client who she had an 18-year-old son, added a couple authorized users. He got up to like a 750, but she still had to co-sign a car for him because his credit profile was so thin. But I would say if you're clear of derogatories, if you have some of your own accounts, you've managed some of your own accounts, I would say, if you hit that 680 mark and higher, a lot of things will open up for you. In terms of, like, let's say mortgages, stuff like that. Usually to qualify for the lowest interest rates, if you're like at a 760, that usually qualifies you for the lowest interest rates. And then every like 20-point decrease, it's like a quarter percentage point decrease in the rate. So yeah, I would say, to answer your question, I would say, if you're at that 680 mark and you have no derogatories, then a lot of things will open up for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with even back all the way back to that original question, a bunch of people got their stimulus checks. There's a lot of people in compromised financial positions. What would you tell them, to do with that 1,400 to, maybe boost them or put them in position that could help their credit and help their overall financial situation?
So here's what I would do, right? All right, so you got, I'm just going to throw a couple out. If I got my $1,400 stimulus, what I would do is I would go out and get some secure credit cards, right? Because like I was saying earlier, for example, you have like a Discover card, right? You could put down $200. After 7 months, like clockwork, that $200 credit card limit will go up to anywhere between $1,200 to $2,000.
$2,000, yeah.
Navy Federal too. You could put down $200 and I think they're starting to unsecure as early as 3 months. You could turn that $200 to $2,000. So you still
you don't need somebody in the military to refer you to Navy Federal. That's what people don't realize too. Like you can get in there like with anybody for real.
Yeah.
What was the first company you suggested?
Discover. Yep. You could put down a minimum 200. They unsecure. You could go to Navy Federal, put down 200. So you've only used up 400 so far. you got TD Bank. There's a State Department Federal Credit Union. You can put down 300. They unsecure. So that's what I would do. I would do that, because then you still get to keep. You still got your 1,400, but then you'll also be building your credit, and you'll have access to probably about, maybe 7,000 to 8,000 after all of those unsecure. So that's what I would do with my stimulus check. Otherwise, pay down debt. I mean, just don't go out there and splurge on things that aren't going to bring stuff back to you. So I got a couple more minutes, and then I gotta dip out. But
for sure. All right, I got a quick question for you.
Sure.
So in the event that, like, even not only just with the stimmy, but also like with big tax returns. So in the event that you have like a big lump sum of money like that, is it best to pay off, like in the event that you have some debt, pay off some debt and basically close out a loan, or should you just continue to keep or possibly continue to keep like paying the minimum balance? I know it's probably dependent upon your situation, but pay off, either basically pay off, or should you possibly even consider like putting some towards it, but then also like maybe invest in some of that money. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah. I would say, definitely paying down as much as possible. I mean, if you have an account that's in good standing, because one of the downsides is if you close an account out temporarily, it'll lower your credit profile because it's no longer active. But yeah, definitely paying it down, and paying down your debt is always going to just give you more peace of mind. So that's definitely something that I would recommend. As a matter of fact, I did a poll the other day and asked people what they were doing with their stimulus, and I think about 48% of the people said they were going to invest. About 20% said they were going to pay down debt. I think maybe like 3% said they were going to go shopping. So
fuck it off.
Yeah, but you got good. You got smart crowd. So that's not the majority. Okay, one more question. The whole hard pull versus soft pull thing, like, is how much do people need to take stock in that?
I think like the soft pull definitely gives you like, before you go ahead and waste a hard pull, like if you do a soft pull first, at least you'll know.
And what are some examples of a hard pull?
So a hard pull basically is when it's showing up on your credit report, right? A soft pull doesn't negatively affect, but like, let's say if you're just applying to a bunch of accounts, eventually your credit's going to take a dip. I think soft pulls are good because it gives you an idea before you move forward. And then with hard pulls, at the end of the day, inquiries represent the smallest portion of your credit. So at the end of the day, inquiry is not going to tank your score that significantly. So I mean, I wouldn't be like, if you're someone who's trying to build, I wouldn't be too worried about it. But you do have to be mindful of inquiries in a short period of time, because it just looks like you're desperate for credit. Yeah.
So like basically, like you trying to do, like, let's say a Macy's, a Best Buy, like little places like that, try to get credit. Those are like soft pull type places, right? Or is that more of a?
Not necessarily. I mean, whenever you're doing usually a pre-qualification is a soft pull. So they'll tell you before that this isn't going to impact your credit. You'll see it.
Okay, yeah. I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Great information.
Covered a whole lot.
Is there a program you like to promote or anything?
I mean,
we got a question. Should they go for a Chase card or wait and use other cards?
Chase has a 524 rule. So if you have more than 5 accounts within a 24-month period, then you're not going to get approved. So you probably want to get Chase first because they're new account sensitive. But again, Chase is for prime credit, so just make sure your credit is good.
Okay, and then tell them where to find you on YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah, y'all can check me out. The Credit Plug. Just search Credit Plug on YouTube. It'll be the first thing that pops up
for sure.
And Instagram is www_creditplug_com.
Yep, and he's going to be in our description under this video here. Yeah, bro. I appreciate you, Antoine, man.
Absolutely. It's been
good. Yeah. informative show.
Informative, yeah, we had, honestly. But aside from the sex episode we just had,
I done took a lot of notes. I took a lot of notes, and I think
me too. Me too. I'm literally about to go ahead and get a secure credit card.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure. I got to run because my wife is blowing me up right now. but yeah, definitely. I shared it on my page, so I think some of our subs, tuned in as well. So
absolutely,
definitely appreciate it, man. And y'all have a good rest of y'all night.
All right, peace, bro.
Thank you, Antoine.
All right, y'all.
All
right, y'all.
All right, fellas. Yeah, I feel empowered.
Our regularly scheduled program.
No, I do too. And I think that's perfect timing too, because like most of these people, that's all I've been seeing is how people want to fuck off the money. But that's what makes me sad too.
Bro, I couldn't even log on my bank app today because all the stimulus money was coming in. I couldn't even log. I couldn't even do like regular shit today.
Yeah, all the inquiries and shit.
Yeah.
It's just like it makes me sad only because it's like, damn, y'all niggas ain't never had 1,400. Like y'all never like experienced having a lump sum of any type of money to where it's like it's almost like desperation. Like, oh, I gotta get that so I can spend it.
You seen somebody asked Dr. Miami how much for a BBL, and this nigga said 1,400. He said 1,400 exact. You already know it's about to be some fucking high ass. It's about to be some high asses. This summer.
Oh yeah, these chicks is going straight to Miami, Republic, and Lumbiana. They're getting it all done right now. All done. These next 3 months, the doctors is books, baby. That you can't even get in there.
Before the world opens back up too.
Right. They're gonna have time to heal and all that. They're coming out with a whole new look. Trust.
Man, this summer gonna be wild, man.
Trust.
Shame on y'all. Oh man, what y'all trying to move on to? Y'all want to touch on the Grammys? The Grammys just passed.
Yeah, we can get to the
Grammys.
You ain't watch Grammys at all?
Not on purpose. I just didn't even. I wasn't paying.
Only a little bit, but I know like what it is, the program.
Yeah, I feel like it was like a lot of it was pushing like the whole mask and the social distancing and stuff. It's just like everything you watch on TV, like the NBA All-Star, like people tables was far apart, but you still there mingling. You're doing red carpet. I just think, enough is enough, bro. This is enough.
What about like any performances stand out to like?
Yeah, I will say Post Malone. He performed "Hollywood Is Bleeding."
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Hollywood is bleeding, and he had a new hair. He had a whole new hairline. That shit threw me.
Yo, why do he always wear like? You see like his like mannerisms. Those be like weird to you how he be like kicking his leg and shit while he be like doing it. He just looks funny to me. He looks awkward to me.
He moved to like Utah and shit.
He live out there. Yeah, he live out in Utah. He be microdosing and everything.
Yeah, but it's funny because like his first album had the intro was called Paranoid, and he talk about like everything that was going on.
Right. You feel like he's one of the hip hop plants, like use hip hop to boost his influence, and now he's just doing whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and I also think like he's like kind of like battling that demon. Like he talks about the influence of Hollywood, but at the same time, like he's trying to expose it at the same. It's like a weird like parallel, or you know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, they're gonna get him soon though. They're gonna get him.
Yeah, I kind of like Post Malone sometimes, but yeah,
I do too. Just because he keeps it authentic. He's just a real, down south like white boy. Like he can drink Bud Light, get tatted. Like you remind me of one of them.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about some of the? What do y'all think? Actually, not even before I get to the awards, I did because I glanced a little bit. I seen the baby was on that shit a lot. Like he was getting pushed hard. You know what I'm saying? So,
and he was wearing a fucking Liberace suit.
Yeah, you talking about the all white joint?
Yeah, that joint looks slammed like Liberace, didn't it?
Yeah, he did though. Siegfried and Roy. He did all white.
But all that's telling me though, the fact that he was on the Grammys on like to that level, number one, he's a pop star now. Like he ain't no, but he's not he's beyond hip hop star at this point. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll also say, I mean, do y'all think that that means that he's also like being, promoted like as a top tier act in the industry now? Is this like basically establishing him as one of the top acts in the industry now? You know what I'm saying?
No, I totally agree with you. I definitely think he put in the legwork and like. I like that he's his own entity. He's his own brand for real. Coming out of North Carolina. There's nobody
really ain't
like
got no
him.
cosign.
Yeah, right. And he built it himself. I do feel like that. But I do feel like he gonna be one of them influences like the power that be like gravitate to and like hold on like could use him to program and shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this about the baby though. He's able to cultivate multiple audiences. So he's able to get the streets. But then if you actually sit there and listen to his interviews and actually how he talks and like enunciates himself and how he talks about different things and like articulate some of the shit, like you're able to see how he's able to influence other people. And then also you also add in the factor that he was I mean, he's always in the news, whether it's controversy, whether it's, like some type of arrest or whatever, like that always helps. But I will say that the Supreme Court judges as his background singers, that job was
I thought that was tough. Another performance I thought was tough. Lil Baby probably had one of the best ones. I think he should.
You don't think that like promote like anarchists?
You talking about Lil Baby?
Yeah.
Why? Just because he was going against the shit, and he had like in the performance how he was going against the cops and shit.
And then threw like the Molotov cocktail, and they like danced right after the show.
That was. Goofy. I thought that was. Yeah, it's always like a nice, powerful point, and then it's some shit that goes left that happens in those performances where you're like, damn, what the fuck was that? That's what I mean. It's like. Yeah,
it's like
I still like him though. I still like him a lot.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I like music for being music, and then at the same time, you gotta look at the imagery at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I liked it too, because he was like I said, he was confronting the cops with like the whole lyrics and everything, even bigger than Black and White. That song right there.
This don't look like this man right here.
Like that. Especially with the blouse in the front. That blouse in the front. Jeez.
I already said that man can't dress.
Man, I ain't mad at the baby either. Like he came out of nowhere for real. He's doing his thing.
Yeah. All right. What do y'all got to say about?
I know you're gonna say Max.
Yeah. I
just feel
y'all can't tell me.
I don't want to sound like a hater though.
No, that's what I'm saying. You can't tell me wholeheartedly like she's on the same level as her peers musically. Like talented, like they had like Billie Eilish and I mean even like Roddy Ricch, like Doja Cat, all of them. Like she's not on the same level, and I just feel like that whole bullshit that she went through in the summer is kind of like a consolation prize with the shit.
Exactly. And you heard Tory Lane's new mixtape. He was talking a lot of shit on there.
I did not.
Well, he missed her for real, but anyway. Yeah, he missed her. I understand. I know Tory. I know, but
I like Meg. I enjoy certain jumps, but it's just no way like she should be a three piece winning something over said artist.
Yeah,
and I'm not even tuned in like that. So
and that's the thing about how I feel about her too. I don't look at her as like a rounded artist like all these other people. Yeah. I just look at her like when I think of Meg, I just think it's just sex.
That's what I'm saying. So when she wins stuff like that, like what are they pushing at the end of the day?
Exactly, sex. And just like I saw people complaining about that, like how the Grammys had great performances, it's supposed to be a wholesome program and all that, but then it's degrading the females having the her and Cardi up there doing all this other shit.
Yeah, and I know sex sells, but you can have it. You can still have sex and still have like talent, like that shit.
That shit tasteful. These joints was like really getting after it. That's why. That's why. It's a bad look.
Is like a program like the Grammys is like something that you would assume would be family friendly. Like, I can sit here with the kids and like we can watch the awards show, and it's like just
Yeah.
Nope.
But even the song itself, like compare that shit to like a song or any of the nominations 10 years ago. Like it's no comparison. Like that joint is not that shit is not it. Like I mean it's cool for the club and shit. But Grammys, like nah. How many niggas lost, you know what I mean? Everybody should be nominated if that's the case.
But you know they're trying to push Cardi too. They're trying to push her like real hard.
Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on this shit. But yeah.
Me neither.
So yeah, we on the female topic. Let's have like I said 10 years ago. Let's go. Damn, I'm about to fuck up some math. Let's go 20 years ago. 20 years ago, 1990s. You know, you home, you watching 90s sitcoms, and if you had to pick two, what are these, 90s baddies? Who you gonna take? You gonna take Laura Winslow? You gonna take Topanga with those dreamy eyes? You gonna take
I ain't gonna lie, hands down, Topanga and everybody, every nigga that was born like 80s, 90s, Topanga is in that top 5, dog.
You gonna take
top 3.
Who's
From different what was LL Cool J's In the House? You talking about her?
Mia Campbell? Yeah. Okay, you gonna take
that's her prime.
Hillary Banks, exactly. Kelly Kapowski, Lisa Turtle, Lisa Bonet.
Who's top right? Who is top right?
That's the girl from In the House, right?
No.
That's not In the House. Parent Trap. What was the name of that show? Parent
Trap or Parenthood?
Parenthood.
Who was Parenthood?
Yeah. Parent.
Yeah,
Tatiana Ali
is always gonna.
Yeah. And then Kimberly, the Pink Ranger.
I definitely put the Pink Ranger.
But why they didn't have the Yellow Ranger up here though?
Who?
The Yellow Ranger. She black.
Oh yeah,
the Yellow Ranger was Asian.
No.
The original. Yeah. With her. That was with
There was a black Yellow Ranger.
Well, bro, I ain't got the shit. This is what we got.
You got. Yeah, I'm getting off track.
I'm just asking for two.
All right.
I'm really going into the 90s. Well,
it was kind of tough.
You said 3?
2.
2.
And I don't know why, even though Hillary, her character was so ditzy.
Like you hey, I will agree with you. Like if you watch Hillary like in movies, like after the fact, she was beautiful.
Dog, and only rich men fucked with her.
I'm not talking about her Hillary Banks character. I'm talking about like after the fact.
Yeah. No. I thought she was nice.
Major Pain.
And she was in another jump too when she had like kind of like a serious role. I forgot the movie.
She was in Class A.
Class A.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Class
A. Yes. And that brown skin John is classic.
She wanted to make bacon in that.
Yeah.
Pick 2, damn it.
Pick 2. I think I'm gonna go with, and it's fucking me up because they're close to each other. It's Topanga and Tatiana Ali.
Oh.
I want a whole smorgasbord.
I hear you. Well,
but Kelly Kapowski was. Look at her.
I'm gonna go with Lisa Turtle. I'm gonna go with Lisa Turtle and Topanga.
Well rounded.
Okay. I'm going with Hillary Banks and Lisa Bonet. But I like all shades. Don't get it fucked up.
Oh, true. I see. They gonna hate you for that.
It's not like that. Those are just my shows.
Laura fine as hell too. Goddamn, Laura fine.
All of them though. All of them real talk. You can't go wrong.
At all. Except Mia Campbell. Like, I mean, after the fact.
She had a rough. Yeah, I can't believe that shit. I remember I watched the documentary. I couldn't believe it. Like she was just.
It's almost unreal.
It is. Did you see her pics after that?
But like some of these jumps don't age good. Like Lisa Turtle did not age good.
Yeah, I know. I heard.
Neither did
I saw.
Well, no, she's still doing commercials and shit.
Kelly's still tough.
Laura Winslow. I just seen her in.
Yeah, Laura's still tough. Topanga's still.
So is
tough.
Tatiana.
Lee's still tough. Lisa Bonet, Yep.
I know the Pink Ranger probably aged a little.
Yeah, she maybe. Yeah.
Just because of her.
She probably she was probably 30 in this jump for real.
Real talk. She's 32 right there.
She was trying to play it off. Yeah.
But what's your two?
Who you got, Al? Yeah, who you got, Al?
Give me Ashley and Denise. So Tatiana and Lisa Bonet.
Okay.
Yeah, Tatiana probably she had a great run.
Yeah, Tatiana, she got that hair, and she was like,
even that. Look at that.
She reminded me of
crop top in it, like just doing her thing.
And mind you, we watched Tatiana grow up too. So we watched her go from the baby Ashley on Fresh Prince to actually growing up.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Same with Topanga. Yeah. Topanga grew up in front of us too.
Yep. And Laura.
Yeah, Laura Winslow. Yeah.
And Lisa Bonet. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whatever happened to the top right though? I don't think I've seen her since Parenthood.
She fine though.
But she was ill back in the day, yeah.
She was.
Okay. So I got another question, bro.
Shoot.
Not to get personal none, but to get completely
Here
personal.
we go.
Is you a Manscaped type of dude out here? You a Manscaped type of dude out here? You a Manscaped type of dude out here?
That's mad personal.
Well,
that personal. That's real personal.
I've okay, so y'all know how I did the Freedom Grooming commercial.
Oh wow! Oh okay, yeah. Check my man out.
Yeah, check me out, Freedom Grooming. Just look it up; it'll pop up. I swear. So after when I did that, it says it's like compatible, like you can use it on your balls, whatever, like everything. Like it doesn't go down to the skin. Like I really tested this shit. So me in my Manscaped summertime, I keep it.
Somebody send me that.
Yeah. You talking about the Freedom? Yeah. Summertime keeps it low to bald to clean. Just because it's summertime, humid, hot, all that. You want it to flow right. Wintertime is more of a laid back situation. But I like to keep it clean. Not clean. Like high school before I even hit puberty clean. None of that.
Oh my gosh.
A little stubble. I'm still a man out here.
So here, cuz. Al, you out here? You out here breezing through the wind?
No. I don't even know how to respond to this question. And I feel like a no comment would not do me justice. Wouldn't be right. So I just say I'm well groomed, not too lavish or too. Yeah.
What? See, I do it more for like perspiration purposes and shit. Like stay dry. You know what I'm saying? Like reduce some sweat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't want to be musty out of this jump.
Yeah. That's why I said summertime. It's important to do that though. Real talk. It's important.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to jump out in the swim trunks or something like that, you can't have that trail leading up. You can't. It gotta all come together. It has to shave your nipples, all that shit. Make sure you're right.
Oh nah. Hey, all right, so I got a follow-up question. Do y'all prefer y'all other halves or whoever you land with to be,
Hell no, we ain't getting off the subject. Nah, y'all niggas gotta respond first. Fuck that. Y'all niggas is not easing out of this.
You got my response out.
I think it's a seasonal thing. If I'm in the winter, I'm gonna keep a little, cushion down there. But as soon as that shit is like above 60 degrees, yeah, my shit look like a boiled egg. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here. That should look like it look like your your grandmother used to have like them trinkets on the counter, the Fabergé eggs.
Hey, those were a lot of money though.
Them little glass porcelain eggs. Yeah, I'm out here.
Wow. Hey, but I mean, honestly, you kind of got to now. Like, you see how these shorts and shit are made. You see these cuts in these clothes. You kind of have to tame it somewhat. You just do. You just do. I don't want to see no short shorts with something coming out of that. Oh, frightening.
Yeah, I think try to be clean. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to get too jungly down there and shit, but just keep it neat. You know what I'm saying? That's about it. I don't be doing all that cut it all. Like, nah, I don't cut it all off. Shit, I don't fuck. But yeah, that's it.
I got you.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel faster when it's like out the way.
Yeah, I feel faster.
Like, but the worst part about the worst part about the only bad part is the grow back is the bad part. That's the word, because you be randomly itching and shit. You might, you know what I mean, get a little scratch somewhere you don't normally scratch and it looks crazy.
I don't never like itch on a grow back. I like when I first do it, I kind of like have some, I have an itch. It's just like, I'm not used to being so clean. Remember, I used to say you a squeaky ass nigga. Oh, squeaky ass nigga. But yeah, I think. But what the trick is, like, you don't use powder or shit. Use like a little bit tea tree oil. Get you cleaned up down there. You can feel fast. Like a Olympic swimmer. You just be swimming in that thing.
Yeah, no, that is important though. You definitely gotta keep your skin moisturized because that shit you will be itching like shit, and that shit's not cool because you could be out somewhere and you got to scratch that itch and niggas think so.
Yeah, but it looks so bad. The moisture helps with like ingrown hairs and shit like that too.
Yeah. So, fuck all that shit. I don't like that shit.
It's real.
So I was asking, do y'all prefer on y'all counterparts for that joint to be, bald, waxed, a trail, a bush, the little old 70s niggas like that fucking thing woofing? Do y'all prefer, how do y'all prefer that shit on the other half?
Definitely prefer some sort of trimming, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't be out here all like just with a full blown bush and shit. Like, nah. Like, just keep it clean.
Wolf.
Keep it clean. You know what I mean?
Wolf pack. I like that shit bald as fuck.
I mean, I could go with that too, but I definitely can't fuck with no bush. Like a full bone, like you fucking like looking through this shit. Like, nah, pass on that.
Yeah, I mean, I like a little strip. If it's all the way bald, I don't know. We both can't be clean out this motherfucker. One of us has to take the L. But I don't want it. I have a crazy story about that hairy shit. I've actually been freaked out by like a whole cause when you first start getting into it, you don't expect that shit. Like when you first start having sex or whatever. And I don't know, it was just one of those things, a preconceived notion. I thought every girl, had like landing strip or like was bald or whatever. And like the first time you see a wolf pussy though, I don't know, kind of
scare you.
Not even scary. It's a little. It's almost more like, damn, you weren't trying to impress me. I don't know. Is that selfish?
Nah, I mean,
I don't know.
If she know you pulling up, and then I mean,
and that's what I'm saying. Like,
if it's out of nowhere, that's one thing. But if she know you pulling up, then take care.
Yeah, and that's why I said like I don't know if it was me or like. Because I was preconceived, like if you look at her, you wouldn't think that. And then when I saw it, like threw me all the way off. Because I'm like, damn, I thought she was more prepped than this. And she had an attitude about that shit too when I said something.
Like them shave cats.
I mean, I don't need no Austin Powers cat, the bald cat, but you know what I mean, just maintained.
I like that hairless cat.
Look
at P.
There we go. Right there. Views right there.
Bald head.
And that is safe on your sensitive areas too. It doesn't cut down to the skin. I don't want to do another promo, but right on top of the skin.
So you could use this whole contraption on your joint?
You can use the whole thing, man. It's one commercial. I was like shaving a peach. They ain't even use it, and it didn't even penetrate the peach or nothing. It's crazy, right? You know, like the peach has my balls. Yeah, crazy.
Bald head ass.
Yeah, I'm not bald for the record. People been asking me like, nigga, I thought I just saw you away. I thought you.
They got a lace front right now.
Right? Nah, don't say that, man. Don't say that. They believe that.
You got a whole lace front. Damn, did we cover everything?
Hey, so speaking on bald, when eating at a restaurant, I'm sorry. When eating at a restaurant,
huh?
He said, "Speaking."
I was being silly. I couldn't help you. I laughed at myself. All right, when eating at a restaurant for the first time, which is more important, better quality or bigger portion?
I feel like I like quality. I want the quality.
But don't you like when if you go to like a nice restaurant and it's expensive, but then they give you like the food be good, but the portion be good. Sometimes that shit is annoying, young. It is. Even though it's good, that small portion shit is whack.
I'm sorry.
I don't like that shit.
I thought you meant quality. I thought you meant like the service, the customer service, like the ambiance and shit like that.
What are we talking about? We talking about quality of food, or we talking about quality of
quality
of food, right?
Yeah. I disagree. I retract my statement.
Yeah. I was thinking quality of food.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was thinking we were talking about quality of food, and so I guess we're talking about and like making it. Of course, we're making it comparable. Whereas though, you know what I'm saying, like the food quality is still remotely okay at the place with bigger portions at the same thing as like the damn it, what was the question?
5-star restaurant or something.
Quality of food,
small portion.
Yeah.
I think the average person won't take the big portion, to be honest with you, because I think people when they spend money,
it still can be trash. It still can be trash. It still can be trash. Like
it can be, but you want to leave satisfied. When you leave a restaurant, you want to leave satisfied. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so like, all right, you live in Moco, right? CC's, that's quantity over quantity. That's not quality.
That's a whole. We not in my mind. We're not talking about CC's. You know what I'm saying? We talk about like decent restaurants. You know what I mean?
So this is where my mind went automatically. My mind went from like Jerry Seafood and then Blue Dolphin. And then
that's a good comparison.
So like with Blue Dolphin, you already know you're gonna get a way bigger portion. The food's gonna be okay. It's not gonna be up to the quality level of Jerry Seafood. However, it's still remote.
Hold on, Al. So you saying Jerry Seafood got better crab cakes than Blue Dolphin?
I think so. I think so. I think Jerry's. That's what I'm saying. But the portion that you get at Blue Dolphin, there's no way I'm comparing the two. Like I'm gonna actually go with Blue Dolphin.
Yeah. So all right. So I don't think that's a good comparison because like if you go to like McCormick and Schmick, right? If you go to McCormick and Schmick, that's a big chain restaurant. When they give you crab cakes, it's gonna have them little dainty peppers and they're gonna be flat. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be the crab cakes gonna be almost be like a thicker pancake. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna be smaller. But you go to Blue Dolphin, the crab cake is gonna be tastier, and that shit look like 2 fucking double D's on your plate, like looking at you. So like, it got both. So you gotta find that like medium ground.
So what about a place like Cameron's? I know you've been to Cameron's before.
Yeah,
Cameron's.
So
I think that's a good comparison because you're spending about like $20 a plate, but it's not like the highest quality of seafood, but it's still.
But it's a lot. It's a lot of food. Yeah, it's a lot of food.
At Cameron's.
Yeah, because they when they give you steamed shrimp, that shit is like they pack that joint. They pack that joint with rice. They pack that joint with vegetables. But you know what I'm saying?
I'm going to Cameron's this weekend. I have to. The other thing about the food, I'm like, man, this weekend, damn.
Yeah, it's not. It's not the quality.
Yeah, with that stem showing
Yeah. But you can go to like a crab boil and you can get better shrimp. You can get some crab legs in that joint, and you know what I mean, some good sides. So yeah, I don't know. It's just I think when you go to some restaurants and they do hit you with that, the super like micro
Can you think of one restaurant that give you that gives you like food like that, like it's good, but they don't really give you like. Can you think of off the top of your head?
I would say what's that joint? Double Eagle Grill. What's that joint? The
Del Frisco's.
Del Frisco's, yeah, that joint is overrated like shit.
Yeah. I know. I went there too.
It's overrated.
It is.
Yeah.
Del Frisco is. I've been in that joint in Atlanta. It is overrated.
Yeah,
it's expensive as fuck too.
For no damn reason.
Yeah, for nothing.
Yeah, I've had steaks.
I like that double charburger. I don't know if you ever had that shit. It's good. They double charburger, but I think
I do like.
They're closing down from what I've seen. All the Del Frisco's I've seen, them shit's been shutting down.
I do like the smaller, Del Frisco's grill. Like they got the like.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
The smaller joint. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that joint. Yeah, I mean, there's always like like contemporary, like dainty small restaurants where they give you like a small plate and give you like some raspberry reduction type, goofy ass shit. Yeah. Come on, man.
No, I mean that's what I mean. Like, because you ever know.
Then they try to push you with the whole ambiance shit. So that's why they try. Yeah,
that's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's all your girl wants.
Yeah, that's true. Like some places, some restaurants, they keep giving you like bread and shit to try to fill you up to get you up out of there. It's like even that is like, all right, does that? But it don't be like high quality shit. You know what I'm saying? But it just be something just to put in your stomach so they can try to get you up out of there. So,
right.
Or Char House, they give you small portions.
So I was about to say that one. I was gonna say that, but the reason I didn't say Char House is because their ambiance is
amazing. Yeah.
10. If you I remember you told me about the fireplace.
Yeah, if you go to Char, if you go to Char House, Char House in Arlington, the joint in Arlington or Alexandria, whatever the joint. And then but when you make the reservation though, tell them to sit you by the fireplaces. Like they got this all glass fireplace. With the embers and shit like that. Yeah.
And only like 5 people can fit in the area too. It's only like
before you get there, let them know that though, so they can make that shit happen.
But sit you by what?
The fireplace.
The fireplace, yeah.
Fireplace, all right.
It's on the right hand side when you walk in there. It's on the right side.
Bro, it's worth everything. It's worth it's worth everything.
I'm literally my investment coming up.
Yep, it's worth everything, bro. Trust me.
Yeah, I know some ambiances, man. What's that one Renaissance Hotel P? That bar?
Yeah.
The nice
ambiance. The bar down there?
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. That's so nice. You don't even think it's a hotel. That shit was crazy. That's a nice little spot. Right in DC, right by over Verizon Center.
There's so many
we should do like a just straight ambiance review. I got another one.
We can.
The what's that John? Is a double tree, the John in Pentagon with the little rotating dining room.
You told me about that years ago.
Yeah.
I never went there, but I remember you told me about that years ago.
It's by the mall.
Yeah, the menu is not that strong, but as far as like the ambiance, yeah. And tell me you want to
in Crystal City, right?
Yep. And I got some cheap hotels out there too.
Oh yeah.
Parlay. And after you eat there, you turn up, you burn some calories, all that out there. You want a late night snack, you got to hit up that Crystal City restaurant. It's like an old, kind of classy, kind of trashy gentleman's club, but the food in that joint is amazing, and they do pick up. Tell me, give me y'all gems out here. I want
that truck, man.
I know we missed Valentine's Day on this jump. Yep.
Oh, yeah, but it's all right. Y'all opened a whole bunch of shit back up, so it should be a free for all for real.
Yep. Yeah. So what we got here? We're gonna close out with taxes. I don't even want to talk about taxes.
Yeah, that's a headache. Yeah. He kind of covered some of that though too.
He was already there. Kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we'll go tax expert on here. If anybody's a tax expert and y'all see this and y'all want to hit us up, let us know.
I got one.
You do? Well,
Right.
we're gonna have
Bring them on. Bring them on. It's tax season is right around that time too. Yeah.
Yep.
And they just extended it. So let's get out of here on cool ass note. We bossed up. We learned about some credit, some financial literacy. We trying to build the people. Last week we told y'all how to get a nut. This week we trying to tell you how to get a buck.
They both coincide with each other,
right? Because
your credit got to be straight these days to get some of that cutting, man.
Yep.
They go hand in hand.
They do.
Yep. Exactly.
They go hand in
It's
hand.
the Flight Room
You
Podcast.
get motherfucker.
Right. It's the Flight Room Podcast. Maybe you can with that STEMI, you can get some of this merch. How about it?
There you go.
What y'all think?
1400. We don't even need that. We don't even need all that.
Right. Or
come up for a nice 75.
Or if you want something for free, I don't know if y'all know about this, but we're giving away some free shoes, some Adidas, Krusty Burgers.
10,000.
So I'm gonna play this for y'all. Oh, I don't have.
Tell them a little bit more about that real quick.
So we got a contest for our 50th episode that's coming up. So that's in the next 3 weeks. There will be flyers, video promo to enter the raffle for a free pair of Krusty Burger ZX 10,000 sneakers with a Flight Room hoodie.
How do you win?
You have to repost the video clip. We'll also have flyers going around.
Professional.
If you get more than 50 likes on your entry, you get a bonus, like another entry, a double entry, pretty much for the contest. So 2 for 1, 2 entries instead of 1. Get them likes up, spread the word, have your people enter, get you a free pair of shoes.
It's free, bro. Y'all don't like free shit?
Free 99, and we shout you out, show you the love, all that. Free 99 with the hoodie. Free.
Yeah.
Free.
Go ahead and get them live.
For our 50th episode, we'll be doing a Simpsons themed episode and also giving away a pair of ZX 10,000 Krusty Burger sneakers. These come with a Flight Room TV hoodie, and here's how you enter. You have to screen grab this clip, post it on any social media platform, tag us at the Flight Room TV, and you're in. If your clip gets more than 50 likes, you get a bonus entry.
Ooh. Pull up, man.
Yeah, man, come on. It's free. Like, y'all don't like free shit? Like, come on, get it. Collect yours.
You got 3 weeks.
You might as well get some free shoes out of it.
It's about to ramp up. I think the closer and closer it gets to, it's going to start getting crazy.
And they a size 9. Like, come on. Like, that's sample size. Y'all can flip that if y'all wanted to, or you can rock it, or you can gift it. I mean, it's free.
I know some girls with some big ass feet too, and 9 ain't nothing. I know y'all wearing 11s. That translates to a 9. 10 and a half translates to let's go.
Yeah, it's a Flight Room Podcast. Yeah. Stay tuned, man.
All right, peace, y'all.
I'm gonna fuck with you.